Yeah, sure.
10 seconds. 1 sec.
Okay, guys, game number 5. I'm super happy with the series so far. Both of these teams play exceptional. I am loving it. It's actually great. Yes, there are mistakes on both sides. There's a lot of calls that you can, in hindsight, then say, okay, this was a bad choice. Should have done this differently. Maybe not push for core here. Maybe not use the stage dive there. But of course, it's always that risk-reward assessment that you have to make in the situation. And overall, it's just a super attractive series that we see from the two teams. Kudos and a big shout out already to beGenius for making it work to force this 5th game. No matter how this ends, they have definitely gained a lot of respect here today. Being down 0-2 in a series and then being able to win 2 in a row like this and forcing the 5th map, that takes a lot. So a very stable team here so far. The Haka is banned out. We are on Sky Temple. It is our 5th and last map in the series here. Whichever team wins Sky Temple is going to move to the 2017 League.
Yeah, and this is a interesting map to show it on. We've seen some of the longest games ever. We've seen some of the shortest games ever on this map. And did this draft literally start the second I stood up?
Yeah, and I just said that I'm super happy about this entire series because it's so much fun. And the one thing that breaks my heart a little bit is that one of these teams will not make it today. And
they have a second chance, but I'd love to see both of these go through. But the fact is, we have another semi-final after this with 2 other teams with equal saying to get in this.
The Russian Circus with the ETC Thrall starting things up. Thrall definitely getting such a high priority now with Earthquake. And of course his bot lane pressure is also very, very nice. Zul banned out here. And for me personally, the pressure is really on the Russian Circus right now. beGenius, they have shown that when they are behind, they still have the mental stability and the mental strength to say, no, we can win 3 in a row. We can make that happen. And they forced the Russian Circus into the last map. And in this moment, you can be certain there's a lot of nerve issues going on the Russian Circus side, for sure. If you are 2 overhead, in your mind, you're already can we actually lose this? Not really, right? And all of a sudden, you're forced into a game where the entire thing could flip against you.
Yeah, they've been pushed up against the wall here, and beGenius, they were pushed up against the wall in the first 2 games, and apparently that's where they fight best, because nothing can hit them from behind there. They're going to be picking up the Tychus here, getting some good shredding potential. We saw just how spectacularly well the Tychus worked against Diablo.
Don't remind me. That was insane. He just stood there and laughed in his face and was just like, yeah, screw you. I'm going to take you down.
Tickles. That's actually a quote from him. I was just doing that as a joke, but
it
fair enough.
Tickles Dibbles.
Tickled the Dibbles. The Dibbles, lord of hugs and tickles.
Oh, God. The Tyrael, okay. Tyrael being banned out right now. Yeah, I wouldn't want to deal with the Sanctification either if I was them. There were so many cool moments in the last game, in the entire series. I mean, I am loving this. This is just absolutely beautiful. So, we have beGenius with the ban on... Yeah, there's a lot to choose from. That is definitely right. Jaina, Gul'dan, go for a ban on Falstad. There is a lot of heroes that had massive impacts here. I would probably try to get rid of either Gul'dan or Jaina, to be honest. With Thrall being there and the Earthquake, that would be what I would be worried about the most.
Falstad I can see the logic there, but the global from Falstad is just super valuable, especially considering that beGenius actually have 0 globals at the moment, and we've seen how well they've done when they have globals and their opponents don't. Russian Circus, on the other hand, they already have the ETC for the potential stage dive. If they were able to get Falstad as well, they would have a lot of control over the map.
Yeah, I mean, there's 2 arguments to be made for it, for sure. There's the team fight potential, and then, of course, trying to play strategically around the map. You can do both here quite easily. But it seems like we're having a hero that we didn't really see too much today. It looks like Sylvanas is going to make her first appearance in this series.
Yeah, and the Valor, so they're going to ignore the Falstad here completely. They still need their support. Brightwing could give them a bit more global, but Ariel could work very well with this Sylvanas. But overall, Russian Circus, they know what they want, they know what they like. Getting in that Sylvanas very early gives them a huge amount of split push potential.
So we have, okay, Johanna is being picked. Alrighty, Johanna, well, not picked just yet, but they actually hover over her. So let's see if they're going to lock her down. Yes, okay. So we have the Johanna at the front line for beGenius right now. We have Li Ming and Tychus already. Really good damage output here for them. Second frontliner would probably not be too bad. There's a couple of choices that they can go for. And I mean, like, this is not really the comp where you expect something like an Illidan, for example. So the Tyrell has been banned out, which would have definitely been a good option for them. So actually, I'm actually a bit curious to see what they are taking right now. I mean, they are having options, but all of the standard choices that they made so far in this situation are gone.
Yeah, it's very, very weird. Zeratul is going to be picked as their last pick. Vala and Sylvanas, both a little bit more vulnerable, but Vala, later levels, can get that Gloom. Sylvanas, if she wants, can take Spell Shield. So Zeratul going to have to do some work. It's more about the auto attacks, though, nowadays with Zeratul.
Okay, this, like, there's going to be so much pressure right now on Zeratul. He needs to make the plays against the backline. He needs to be the one. And there's quite a few things that can ruin his day. Silence being dropped. Vala, if she goes for Rain of Vengeance with a stun. Thrall with something. ETC with a slide. Like, there's a lot of danger. But if Zeratul can make the plays, there is a chance for them. It's the last map, guys. We are on Sky Temple. Russian Circus versus beGenius. Let's get this party started. The final game.
Final game. There is potential for Karazim to run the Vision talent on level 4, the like double wards that he gets, because they do reveal. The block would obviously be nice to block some damage from Zeratul, but being able to see him and just drop those wards basically at the entrances to any of the objectives could be a seriously big deal and allow Thrall to just get some huge punishment on Zeratul.
Alright, looks like we are ready to go for this one.
Yeah, well, we're missing a player, but... Oh no, we're not, we just unselected.
No, I think he turned in, didn't he?
Yeah, Zevka's here, he's just not locked in a hero, he's just a blank square on my screen, so I was confused.
Like, dude, this series was crazy. I would never have thought after the first 2 games, especially after how the first map went, that they would go to map 5. That is awesome.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. beGenius have just shown, every single time we see them, they're showing, yeah, they deserve to be here. The fact that we might not see them, at least from this qualifier, just blows my mind, but it's almost the same for Russian Circus with how well they've been played. It's very hard for me to grasp that one of these teams is going to have to try again.
I mean, the Russian Circus did really well, apparently, against Misfits the last time, too, and was just barely defeated by them. So I really think they deserve... I mean, there's so many teams that deserve to be in the league. This is actually why I said when we started the first qualifier that especially qualifier 2 and 3 are, for me personally, the most exciting, because we all know the 4 teams that are going to qualify, unless there are massive upsets. So Fnatic didn't just were qualified. Misfits, that's a no-brainer. I mean, if Misfits doesn't make it into the league, then you might as well uninstall Heroes and never play the game again, because then nothing matters. They were at every single global last year. They were like, it was insane. So with that, TBD, the Bees, they were also a team that was super expected to go through. But right now we have so many teams that could make it where we're not certain, are they or are they not? And this it's going to be heartbreaking for one of them, not only here, but in the third qualifier as well. Some of the teams that really expect to go through will not make it. That's just a fact. We don't have enough spots here. So let's go into the 5th game of this series, guys, and find out which one is going to take it. That's what it comes down to. Game number 5. It's the last game of the series. Not the last game of the day, but for these 2 teams, this is a shot that they have to make it into the League of 2017 to gain that $100,000 that you receive if you attend the league, not even considering prize money and team salary. To the left side, they were in the 2-0 lead and they were forced into the 5th map now. It's the Russian Circus with Mopsy on ETC, Neon on Vala, Sir Ice Cream on Sylvanas, Power of Dream on Thrall, and Sevkaja again on Karazim. And to the right side, the French contender. They won 2 in a row now. Can they make it 3? Tank for the win on Zeratul. Unstable on Malfurion. Danatan on Johanna. Arcane on Tychus. And Kirva on Li Ming.
Starting off at level 1, we immediately see the aggression coming in because Sylvanas, beGenius, not going to go all in because the lane prediction was correct from beGenius. They were able to have enough heroes up there to scare Russian Circus off. But with some of the early talents, it's pretty standard. There's nothing that jumps out at all. Every hero going with what we would expect.
So this is what it really comes down to. It all came down to a last map, and it's Sky Temple. We have Sylvanas at the top lane against Malfurion and Li Ming, as in the mid lane the tanks are meeting each other. And talking tanks, Tank for the win is starting to roam the map, looking for opportunities to push the damage in and get kills. There was a big patch that changed a lot of the talents on the side of Zeratul as well, especially their position in the talent tree. Vorpal Blade's now on level 1 and the Wormhole on level 7, allowing him to make a lot of plays a lot earlier in the game thanks to the added mobility.
Yeah, like you said, a lot of Zeratul's talents were just changed, or we have now Wormhole on level 7, which is the go-to talent for most heroes, as opposed to that level 13, which is what used to allow Zeratul to poke and then retreat. And that's what we may see here, dodging out the multi-shot here. Very nice by Tank for the win, but still revealed by the Hungering Arrow.
Casually walking past the AoE, and our Arcane versus Power of Dream down here. These standoffs we've seen in the last map, they can backfire. Mopsio this time on the ETC, by the way. We've been talking about that earlier.
Yeah, we said it might be a problem for him, but we will keep an eye on it. He's played very well, even though he had a lot of deaths in that last game. He still played Diablo about as good as I think it was possible to in that last game there. Sevka dropping some heal onto Neon, keeping the sustain up there, while Mopsio is attempting to delay this mid lane.
Yeah, Mopsio in the mid lane right now against 3, and oh my, alright, Tank for the win. Trying to get that hit a little bit earlier. If he gets a slow in, they might really try and get that root on top of it. But in this case, both of the teams getting that level 4, getting the shots on those temples, but a lot of pressure already towards the fort up at the top lane.
Yeah, but level 4 talent for the Karazim here. I called this pre-game. It is going to be the air ally coming in for Karazim. That basically gives him 2 what could be called wards, just 2 little things that Karazim can dash to, but they give vision and reveal in an area. Basically 2 little scouting drones that Karazim can dash to. Very effective and great for area control and keeping an eye out for Zeratul.
Vision on the map is one of the things that, of course, is the most important here, and we've seen that several times in this series as well, where you were just trying, or where like teams were trying to set up traps and capitalize on them, and this is one of the things that he can really prevent with decent placement on these. The pressure play that we see thanks to Sylvanas is also another thing to really watch out for here, especially with those siege giants. If they get access to the fountain and kill that, then the second objective phase is going to be so much more difficult for the red team.
Yeah, but that positioning from that little air ally for Sevka, you can see this camp is being taken, but they're still pushing in the bot lane very aggressively because they can see if anyone attempts to rotate round from above, so they know how far forward they can push, how safe they can be. Like you said, vision immensely valuable here.
The fountain barely surviving for now. There's a huge focus on the bot lane right now as we're seeing beGenius trying to keep it alive. But we have Tank for the win, sitting in the bushes, waiting to see if he has an opportunity to jump that back line again. Still, Johanna up at the top lane, pushing out the lane since the fort is extremely low, and both teams so far have not made any attempts to go for their own bruiser camp.
Nope, neither team attempting that bruiser camp, but we usually see it about nowish, or at least a little bit into the future, to make sure that it's grabbed in time for the next set of temples, which spawns in the bot lane. That's exactly what we see. Both teams rotating up there. They will kill it, but they usually will wait for the capture until the temple is announced, so that the objective can get as maximum amount of time actually pushing, as opposed to as maximum amount of time being killed by the enemy team. So both teams will probably pick them up now.
In this case, we actually had a chance for the blue team to forego that a bit or delay it and try to go for the fountain at the bot lane if they thought it was a higher priority. They didn't, so unless they are starting to make a quick play for it now or get the first shots on the temple, which they actually do and it destroys them, Arcane not moving on it, so they still get it, and this is going to result in the French team giving this up very likely.
Yeah, both teams roaming down here. It's a full 5 versus 5. Zeratul, though, staying a little bit further back, waiting for his chance, waiting for his opportunity. While Danatan moves onto the point. The air ally being dropped in this bush, keeping the vision, and it's immediately wiped by that arcade orb. But Para3 taking a bit too much damage, but they have a good chance to engage the Russian Circus if they can use the Heavenly Zeal, level 7 talent from Sevka, which gives everyone healed by him extra movement speed. If they can use that well, they could dive deep.
I'm actually very surprised about what beGenius just did. I really expected them, with everybody moving to the bot lane, to try and take control of the temple earlier. With the fountain not taken out, they had a chance to fight there, but as soon as the first few shots in the temple are going to Russian Circus, the fountain falls, and then you are sitting with 5 heroes at the bot lane, and you know when your opponent pre-taps or taps during the battle the well, you are going to fall a little bit behind. What they could have done instead was to simply rotate heroes onto some of the other lanes and trying to at least get a bit of an experience advantage, thanks to while Russian Circus keeping heroes at the bot lane. We see that a lot actually when teams realize, hey, we're not going to get that second temple. They didn't do that, so that's a bit of an issue.
Root being dropped, Sevka not getting hit by it. Neon able to escape, Tank for the win. They turn around the damage. Tank for the win though. Will he survive? Yes, he will. Sevka far too deep there. 3 for 0 in favor of beGenius, all because of the greed on Tank for the win.
Yeah, and that was also, I mean, that was a great 4 vs 4 battle that we just saw there. But the heroic ability dropping in the middle of the fight, that allowed the immediate silence that we saw from Unstable. And all of a sudden, 3 kills against 0 and a push up there, that is making things super difficult. But we have at this point stage dive, so they could still try and engage here if they see an opportunity. Tank for the win played great in the last fight, but this is now starting to become a match in which both teams have their heroic abilities, and we could see those big team fights. But a great start that we have now for the French team after they lost the second temple earlier.
Karazim once again rolling with that 7-sided strike, not going for the Divine Palm this time. He trusts his team. Keep yourselves alive. Instead, our comp is based around bursting people. I'm going to attempt to assist with that. They're able to grab top 4, putting some more pressure on it and at least giving them a little bit more of a boost in XP so they can try and catch up with beGenius.
Yeah, so at this point, top lane pressure happening. That's Sylvanas' value, as you said. I mean, Sylvanas, that is one of the biggest arguments in her favor. They went really deep though. That can backfire if your opponent is stopping you, but with ETC having the global mobility, they can always just like simply jump on it. And now it's time for the temples again. The one big advantage that we are seeing for the Russian Circus, which is insane, is the structural advantage on the map.
They're starting to put some pressure on, and well, it doesn't matter if you're behind in levels, behind in XP, as long as you kill your opponent's core first, that's all that matters. Mopsio though is going to be forced off of this objective by Tank for the win, as he didn't have vision of the rest of the players, and it was a good thing too, because they were all in the jungle above him, so he could have easily been closed in on and picked off. So pulling back, working for him quite nicely, while Sylvanas still going to get some shots for Russian Circus in the top lane, so they don't lose out on anything too much.
Yeah, one fort is eliminated, so once again the bot lane being pushed hard. This is a fort that they're going to lose eventually anyways. Danatan moves in, only Mopsio is here, the rest of the team is now slowly joining up. They're looking to see if they can maybe make a bit of a move there, but Sylvanas is still top, so they can't take a fight yet. They need to be careful with this. They're just defending. Sylvanas can push another wave out. The level 13 is coming in, and with that we are now seeing a spell shield taken, which is now an activatable of course too. We're also seeing Illusionist taken and Burning Rage, a little bit more wave clear. Whereas on the other hand, a double spell shield is already in play against that Li Ming.
We also see Gloom, which is basically Valor's version of Spell Shield, which is sort of a passive spell block along with an activatable which burns it, and another Spell Shield coming in from Sylvanas at the end as well. So 4 and a bit Spell Shields coming in this game.
Also being a bit careful of Zeratul here, of course. So right now, another camp taken. I mean, this is getting... Both teams are looking for a chance here, for a bit of an opportunity for a big fight. But from a structural point of view, it's still the advantage as the stage dive comes in. And we have also on the ground the Earthquake. Good strafe from Neon. On the ground, the drill. Silence is also decent. Big problem is, though, they didn't get any kills out of that. They dropped all 5 cooldowns on the heroics, whereas we only saw 3 being used for the opponent's team.
Yeah, and one of them will be back straight away. That Li Ming heroic is already available. So now they have Twilight Dream, the Blessed Shield, and of course, the Wave of Force. So they have a lot more potential to try and pick someone up here. Obviously, you're getting body blocked, and Tank for the win completely missing the cleave there. But either way, both teams scouting out this boss area. But Russian Circus thinking about it a bit more, because they can still see Malfurion clearing that top lane thanks to that Brute.
Yeah, the question is really, can they drop it in time? Even with the Barb Shot on Sylvanas, it's going to be a challenge. And let's not forget that we have also Danatan still with the Blessed Shield. I highly doubt that they are willing to really commit to the boss at this point. If they get it, on the other hand, at some point in this game, Sylvanas can help them to push straight for keep or core. So we still have 0 kills for the Russian Circus, but there is a lot of potential for them to capitalize on one team fights. And if they get an early kill on a hero like Johanna, that would be a dream come true, of course.
The full 7-sided strike lands onto Danatan. They're chasing him down, and he's finally picked off, and that is a first kill for Russian Circus, and that is the perfect timing as well. With 10 seconds left on the temple, they have time to try and grab the boss. Tank for the win is in position. He does not have Void Prison and was scouted out by the air ally. They know he's here. They will have Encore with ETC, who's coming from above. He actually sees Zeratul there. They're just going to walk past him, make sure he's zoning out. And the boss is grabbed by the Russian Circus, and they're still going to be in position to get a temple.
Hashtag it couldn't be worse. Still Johanna down. We have Temple now taken. They're taking another camp at the bot lane. So now we have actually the option of just simply taking Temple. We still also have the stage dive, so they can push through the bot lane, soak shots, and then jump in with ETC. Top lane Fort is going down. So now at least Russian Circus, they need to get value out of this at the bot lane, but the potential for them to get a lot of worth, a lot of buck for their money is actually amazing.
Yeah, Sylvanas doing a good job at disabling, but the Dragon Laser Drill getting some great value onto the boss here. One of the best talents for dealing with bosses. We're seeing Sir Ice Cream attempting to burst it down before disabling the keep. Keep now disabled. Boss on half health. ETC still ready to stage dive if he needs to, but right now he's beginning to move up to top temple. Oh god.
Here comes the Void Prison. He needs to go in soon. He's starting to go in, but the insta-kill against Sylvanas instantly blown up the silence also on Thrall. Great kills here. 1, 2, 3. They save Zeratul somehow in an attempt to just catch the rest of the team. But the keep has still fallen. The keep is down. The two remaining players are currently trying to escape here. Top lane in the meantime is getting pushed by the remainders of the camp that was taken earlier. 6 kills against 1 overall. Can they save Mopsio? That's the question. He's low. He could slide, but it's too late. ETC is dying as well.
Yeah, falls straight down the hole, taking some huge damage. He tried to escape once again, thanks to his Crowd Surfer, but he's still getting pressured. And now we're seeing, not even bothering with the top temple, we're going to see beGenius trying to even up the keep count here, putting some pressure on. We're now seeing Tank for the win, finally take that top temple, deciding not to help his team. But with everyone back except for ETC, we're seeing Russian Circus trying to drive back. They won't save the keep because of Zeratul grabbing that temple, but they at least stop it going down and stop at least a couple of those shots moving on to the other keeps.
That insta-kill against Sylvanas was worth so much. And a lot of the heroic abilities for Russian Circus were not ready yet. One of them being the Thrall Sundering, the Earthquake, which would have made a huge difference there. So now, even though they got the boss, we are ending up in a situation in which both of the teams have lost the keep, and the structural advantage that we saw earlier for the team in blue is now reduced to a minimum. We have still all of the towers except for one in the mid lane available, but they lost, of course, still that one keep at the top lane, so one lane pushing for each team, and a pretty decent experience advantage for the French team.
Yeah, they're looking pretty good at the moment. They're wanting to try and gain even more control though. And Zeratul, we've already seen how good their one-shot is. A big part of that was what we saw in the fight. Sentenced to death coming in here. So Zeratul does 50% more damage to enemies that have his Singularity Spike on them, which is a big part of how we saw Sylvanas getting killed so quickly. Question is he going to be able to consistently land that? Because right now, Russian Circus pushing in with Bruiser Cap.
Yeah, they're pushing with the Bruiser Camp. They're trying to use Sylvanas again. ETC in the mid lane, soaking, and of course attempting to see when he can jump in with a stage dive. They decide to move back for now, but the threat is of course the earlier level 20 talent for beGenius. Once the French team picks that up, they might be able to decide that game in their favor on the back of a one-team fight. But right now, they still lead massively in kills, 7 against 1. But we have seen situations like this in this series, where one team fight changed everything.
Yeah, we've seen it a couple times now. We're actually seeing him move in. Here comes the stage dive. Doesn't land. The Void Prism does, though. Waiting arrow to try and prevent the follow-up damage. But once again, Valor this time is annihilated. And ETC, even with the Encore, isn't able to zone out. The Earthquake slows down the chase, though. Power of Dream getting chased down by Tag for the win. Looks like they will be able to escape, especially thanks to the speed boost from Sevka. But another so quick burst from the Zeratul. That Void Prism has been on point.
Tank for the win, making the big plays at this point. I mean, that Void Prison was just worth so much. Him blowing up targets like Sylvanas and also Vala. Of course, another huge difference in these fights, but his Void Prisons have been on point. This one was so perfect. It couldn't have been any better. Sylvanas was trying to prevent the worst, but simply going straight for that silence, which was actually very well executed. But now we have another temple in favor of the French team. beGenius is taking the mid-temple and is putting the pressure onto the keep before Vala comes back. Mopsio takes the camp together with the rest of his team. We're seeing level 20 talents, and this is an entire level lead. Tesha, beGenius is about to win the 3rd game in the Series 3 in a row.
They're looking like it right now. Russian Circus on the back foot. They're doing everything they can to keep themselves in this game. They're roaming as a group to prevent being picked off. ETC in a scouting position to try and prevent the boss if it's being snuck away. But right now, Russian Circus, they're just trying to soak XP. They're getting as much as they can. Moptio now coming out of a scouting position to clear waves even quicker. They have Sylvanas clearing the top play. VTC might swap with her just so he can stage dive in if he's required. But it looks like they are all just going to wait here, just grabbing more mercs, grabbing XP. They need 20, but they can't afford to not keep an eye on that boss.
I'm a little bit scared of what Zeratul can do now with the Rewind. He already played great so far in this game. If he gets a really good combo off, including Rewind on top of it, he can just insta-kill someone straight away once more. And if that happens, then it could be lights out for the Russians. At this point, they're still trying to get full experience, and Zeratul is already on the chase again. They're all dashing away. Everybody's moving. Everybody's moving out. Boss has been started. ETC moved to the top. They want to have 20. They're desperately trying to go for 20. Get the level 20 talent, somehow the experience, and then just go straight for the fight.
He'll have stage dive. We see Sevka dropping the air ally. He knows the boss is being done. They need to go now. It's taken too late. They just got 20. It was not in time. It was a race against time. Now they have to win this fight, win this defense to stay in the game. Whereas beGenius, they're going to look to end with this. This is their opportunity. Can they have pulled off the upset count, or can they pull off the comeback of all time?
I mean, right now it's getting really scary. They need to win the battle. The Earth and Shield, a lot of the tools that they have are amazing. But as you said, they need to move past boss at some point here and try to take it down. ETC already goes past. They're going into the backline. Here comes the Void Prison. They are focusing on ETC once again, but in the backline, Mion is still there. There's the silence, the root, and down goes ETC. They get the kill, preventing from moving into the Void Prison. The Earthquake is already on the ground as they attempt to get a kill against Danatan. Not working out so far, but Johanna is still in trouble.
And Danatan saved from the seven-sided strike by Tychus walking into it there. We're seeing Zeratul continue to do damage, but they finally kill off Danatan. The boss, however, will get the keep. It's a 1-for-1 here. Difference is, when ETC comes back, he'll be able to stage dive in, whereas Johanna won't, but the keep is dead. They now have to fight on both of these shrines, or this is game over.
Yep, the shots are being fired quite literally. Down goes that last catapult. They're going up to the top. They're getting Li Ming, but can they really save the core? The core is already about to take damage. They're moving players down to the bot lane. Unstable is trying to stop Sevkasha for as long as he possibly can. Sevkasha is moving in. Zeratul is going for the core though. Tetra, this is over. They've done it. beGenius take game number 3 in a row after they were down 2 maps. Russian Circuit does have to try again in the third. beGenius is qualified for HGC 2017.